Welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polky, and I welcome you to be able to sit and listen to this reflection. This particular reflection is on grief. I have had the honor to be able to be um, the facilitator for a particular group that I run here in the Rockford area for the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office. It's a homicide support group, and it is a group for individuals who unfortunately have lost a loved one, someone they care about, to homicide. I have been involved with this particular group since 2009 after Dr. William Kerr, Pastor Kerr, died suddenly from a heart attack. Barb Stone asked me to join the monthly meeting and be able to facilitate that. One of the things that I get to do once a year is help with the memorial, and that memorial happened on. We do it in the spring typically, and we just did it on May 23rd. I think I just want to share just a little bit about what grief is like and how we can navigate through grief, and then what I have observed as a facilitator of this group. But let me start with reading something to you. People often say grief is like a roller coaster ride. It pulls you up and then drops you down. It twists and twirls, leaving your heart in your throat and your mind in a blur. You may feel like you're on a roller coaster. There may be moments when it seems like you're finally moving upward, and then all of a sudden, a sight, a song, or a smell reminds you of your loved one, and the roller coaster jolts downward, and you feel like you're falling back to where you were. Be patient with yourself. Treat yourself as if you were in intensive care. It takes time to heal. Don't let anyone rush you, and don't rush yourself. Give yourself time and let yourself grieve. May God continue to hold you and heal you. As I have observed this particular group over these years of doing it, these 13 years of doing it, I see a few things that happen. Again, this is a group that no one wants to be a member of, um, but it is a group that has come together for people to share space, that they all have this common link of having lost someone through homicide. They also had the common experience of all the things that happen afterwards, of the court process, of the process with the police. If it's a cold case, that's a whole nother aspect of that impacts the grief. And going through the trial process, if it gets to that point, then that's another aspect that individuals come and talk about, while the whole time having this void of this person is no longer there. That when a traumatic death happens, almost always it complicates the grieving process. Knowing that there's other individuals that have shared some common experiences, that they're not alone, that they can have a space where they know that they're not going to be judged or questioned, is critical for them in their healing process. It's also critical that individuals who are new that come have seen other individuals who've been in the group for a longer period of time, and that there can be a healing. We know that for sure that no one gets over a death. It's not getting over anything. It's about moving through, and how life is now different as a result of this tragic event. This also applies in non in events of deaths that aren't related to a homicide or a suicide. That regardless if it's of natural causes, of a person who is of elder age, and that the body is just shutting down, that there's still this process of grieving, of going through this grieving and experiencing this grieving. I think the biggest thing that I would want to leave you guys with is this idea that, similar to the story that I read of it being like a roller coaster, that somehow something greater than yourself is pulling you and twisting and turning as you're going through this, that it is an opportunity as you're going through it for you to be able to experience it, for it to be able to teach you about something about yourself, and that maybe in the midst of this we'll be able to see how our loved one hasn't spiritually gone anywhere, they just have physically gone somewhere. That we would do anything to have them be back in our physical world with them, but but because we um, but because we are grieving over them, that means that they had this huge impact on our life. As we remember them, as we, even in the midst of sadness, in the midst of joy, it is a way of honoring them. As always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing these messages with individuals that you may that may need to hear this as well. And as always, look forward to being with you next week.